Leonardo DiCaprio's words recently caught the attention of millions when he spoke about Judge Frank Caprio, and his message carried a deep weight that people could not ignore. It was not just another tribute from a celebrity. It was heartfelt, real, and powerful. For years, Judge Frank Caprio had been admired as one of the kindest judges in America, a man who turned a courtroom into a place of fairness, humor, and humanity. When news spread that DiCaprio had shared his thoughts after the judge's passing, many realized just how far Judge Caprio's influence had reached. His impact went beyond Rhode Island, beyond America, and into the lives of countless people around the globe. Judge Frank Caprio was born on November 24, 1936 in Providence, Rhode Island. He grew up in a working-class family, the son of an immigrant fruit peddler. His upbringing taught him humility and compassion, values that would later define his career. He pursued education with dedication, graduating from Providence College, and then earning his law degree from Suffolk University Law School in Boston. His path into law was not easy, but his determination carried him through. By the mid-1960s, Caprio had begun his public service, serving on the Providence City Council. That experience gave him insight into the struggles of everyday people, something he never forgot once he became a judge. In 1985, he was appointed Chief Judge of the Providence Municipal Court. This was where his personality and philosophy truly shined. Most people expect a courtroom to be intimidating, formal, and often cold. Caprio made his different. He listened carefully, spoke kindly, and treated defendants with respect no matter their background. Instead of looking down from the bench, he made people feel seen and heard. This approach was documented through the television show Caught in Providence, which eventually became a global sensation. What started as a local program showing everyday cases turned into a viral phenomenon when clips spread online. By the late 2010s, Judge Caprio's videos were reaching hundreds of millions of people across platforms like YouTube and Facebook. People watched as he handled traffic tickets, parking fines, and minor violations with a sense of humor and deep compassion. A single mother struggling to pay fines might walk away with tears in her eyes after he dismissed her case or gave her time to recover financially. A young student worried about fees might leave feeling supported rather than punished. Each decision reflected his belief that the law could balance justice with mercy. Viewers were not just entertained by these moments, they were inspired. For many, Judge Caprio became a symbol of how authority could be exercised with humanity. Beyond his courtroom, Caprio invested in his community. He created scholarships, including one named after his father, to help local students pursue higher education. He believed that education was a path out of poverty and toward opportunity, and he wanted others to have chances that his own family had struggled to find. These scholarships changed lives and showed that his compassion extended far. Beyond the walls of his court, his career was not about fame or wealth, it was about service. In December 2023, Judge Caprio revealed that he had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. The news shocked his supporters worldwide. At the time, he remained optimistic and determined to face treatment. By May 2024, he announced that he had completed his final round of radiation. Even in sickness, he stayed connected to people, sharing updates with openness and honesty. His vulnerability touched even more lives because it showed that the same man who gave comfort to others also leaned on the support of the public during his most difficult fight. In August 2025, he recorded a heartfelt message from his hospital bed. In that video, he asked for prayers. His voice carried both courage and tenderness. Millions watched, many leaving messages of love and encouragement. That message would become one of his final public appearances. On August 20th, 2025, Judge Frank Caprio passed away at the age of 88. His funeral was held on August 29th and was streamed online, allowing people around the world to participate in honoring him. He was laid to rest in Cranston, Rhode Island, but his legacy had already crossed oceans. It was in this moment of loss that Leonardo DiCaprio spoke. known worldwide not only for his acting career, but also for his humanitarian work and advocacy for justice and the environment. DiCaprio's tribute carried weight. When he honored Judge Caprio, he acknowledged more than a man. He acknowledged a way of living, a philosophy that placed kindness at the center of justice. DiCaprio spoke of Caprio's humanity, his fairness, and his ability to touch lives with small acts that carried great meaning. He described him as a beacon of compassion, someone whose influence extended far beyond the bench. What made DiCaprio's words so powerful was the sincerity behind them. He did not speak as a distant celebrity making a polite statement. He spoke as someone who had been moved, just like millions of ordinary viewers, by the example Judge Caprio set. He reminded people that in a world often filled with harshness, Judge Caprio proved that empathy is not weakness, but strength. DiCaprio's voice broke through the noise of routine tributes and reached people on a personal level. Viewers listening to him felt the same quiet respect that they felt when they had watched Judge Caprio dismiss a struggling father's fine or laugh warmly with a nervous young driver. The reaction was immediate. People from all walks of life shared the tribute, commenting on how touching it was to see one of Hollywood's biggest stars express admiration for a humble municipal judge. Social media filled with messages that echoed DiCaprio's words. News outlets reported on the tribute, describing it as emotional and unforgettable. Many said they were speechless not only because of the tribute itself, but because of what it symbolized. The idea that true respect is not reserved only for the rich or powerful, but for those who dedicate their lives to kindness and fairness. The global response showed how deeply Judge Caprio's life had resonated. People in different countries who had never set foot in Providence had felt connected to him through a computer screen. They remembered moments when he chose compassion over punishment, and they carried those lessons into their own lives. DiCaprio's tribute amplified this connection, reminding everyone that Judge Caprio's example was worth remembering and following. As the days passed, more stories emerged of how Judge Caprio had changed lives. Former defendants shared their experiences, recalling how a small act of mercy had given them hope during dark times. Parents wrote about watching his videos with their children to teach them about empathy. Teachers used his rulings as examples in classrooms, showing students that the law does not have to be cold or detached. Every story added to the picture of a man whose influence could not be measured only in legal terms. It was measured in human impact. DiCaprio's tribute became part of that story. By speaking publicly, he ensured that Judge Caprio's legacy would not fade quickly after his passing. Instead, it would continue to spread, carried by both ordinary citizens and influential voices alike. For many, this combination of local heroism and global recognition created a powerful message that the values Judge Caprio stood for are universal. Compassion, fairness, and humility are not tied to one place or profession. They are values the world desperately needs. Remembering Judge Frank Caprio means more than recalling his rulings or his television fame. It means recognizing the deeper lesson he offered, that every person deserves to be treated with dignity, and that the law can be a tool for kindness as well as order. His life proved that authority, when guided by empathy, can uplift rather than intimidate. Leonardo DiCaprio's tribute captured this truth in a way that reached hearts across the globe. He reminded us that greatness is not always measured in awards, wealth, or status. Sometimes greatness is found in the way a man handles the simplest of cases, with a smile, a kind word, and a genuine desire to help. Judge Frank Caprio's legacy now belongs to everyone who believes in compassion as a guiding force in life. As the world reflects on his passing, one thing is certain. Judge Frank Caprio's influence will not be forgotten. His courtroom lessons will continue to circulate. Online, his scholarships will continue to support students, and his example will continue to inspire. Leonardo DiCaprio's emotional tribute ensured that his story reached even further, touching those who might not have known him before. And in doing so, it left everyone speechless, united in respect for a man whose kindness will outlive him for generations to come.